Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for coming along, and thanks Paul for organizing. So I'm actually introducing several sites tonight. So this is going to be a real, I won't be able to give much detail about them, but hopefully if they look interesting to you, you'll be able to go to the help site and get further details there. So this is just to really let you know basically what they do and what their unique features are. I'm going to start with Kanji Labs. I think we do have some people, quite a lot of members here in Japan or with an interest in Japan. So I'll start with that one, and then we'll look at the other ones as well. So Kanji Lab .co is a web app for studying Japanese vocabulary and kanji reading, and it has progress tracking. And the unique benefits of this compared to other types of kanji or Japanese learning apps that I've seen are this, that it has this nice combinatorial game. So we are learning, it really engages you to put together the readings or the meanings from the kanji to answer the questions. So you can see on the left-hand side there, we're given the kanji and we are inputting the reading from the hiragana. If you make a mistake, it'll show you the next word. And on the right-hand side, you can see the other mode, the switched mode, where it's showing you the reading and the meaning, and you're putting in the kanji. You can also change the settings so that you're just shown the meaning or just shown the reading. So it's got a few different modes, and with the progress tracking, it saves your progress independently depending on the mode. So you'll be able to practice in those different modes and have the score and the record kept independently. Let me just show you the live site. So this is the live site. There's a lot of lists in here from JLPT N5 up to N2, and if you select a list like that, you'll be able to see the progress tracking here. So they all start at yellow by default. They don't start assuming that you don't know any, because many people often do know at least some. And then if you get words correct, they go up. If you make mistakes, then they go down. And that's the basic system there. Okay, I think I'm going to move straight along, but maybe I can give you this, I'll give you this help site link in the chat for people who are impatient multitaskers. You can go ahead and satisfy your curiosity at that site. So that help site actually has info for all of these different ones that I'm showing tonight. The next one I want to talk about is Lingo Bingo Live. So this is, as you imagine, a bingo game, and its kind of unique benefits is that it has live response tracking. So you can see here, this is the teacher's view on the left here. So when your players are answering, you can see when they've answered and whether they've answered it correctly or not. So that's super useful when you've got when you're giving kind of clues. You might be describing the picture to students and you want to know whether they understand it or not and how difficult it is for them, so that you can adjust your language. There are quite a few other sort of bingo sites and bingo boards out there, but I haven't seen any that have this kind of live response system. So you can use pictures like this, or there's lots of sets of words in there already. So you can use those ones. You can also make custom sets if you want. This other unique benefit here mentions a hidden letters mode. You'll see an example of that later in Lingo Lab, but basically it's when you show a word but you don't show the middle letters. So it gives players an easy way to respond without having to type something, but still requires that they have productive knowledge of it. Okay, so if you would like more info on that, go to the help site. I'm going to jump straight along to Lingo Lab. because it actually has a few different subsites, which I'd like to explain too. So this is the basic LingoLab activity. So the main point of it is that it's sentence level practice. So we can see a few different variations of the activity here. So on the left, we have a text prompt and we're inputting the words. We are given this basic outline of the word length. This kind of prevents problems, possible problems with people inputting a different possible interpretation. For example, you can often have adverbs in many different parts of a sentence, but if we have this kind of outline of the lengths, that really restricts the possible inputs, which is for the correct answers. So you could have English text here, you could have English to English, or whatever you like. You can do different languages in this too. If you're making your own custom sets, you could do really, I'm not sure, I wouldn't say any language. I don't know what the restrictions are, but definitely very versatile. In the middle one, you can see we have a picture and we can have audio. So you could have like a question about the picture. In the third one, we have audio again. And you can see here, this is the hidden letters mode that I mentioned before. So this kind of, ordering words to make a sentence is not that unusual an activity in things like Duolingo, Memrise, etc. But I haven't seen this kind of version where you have hidden letters mode, which means that people have to know the vocabulary, not just practice with the sentence, with the word order and syntax. So it really makes a very big difference to the degree of challenge. With this audio, we can be playing a question, or you can be playing the answer, like the target sentence itself, if you want it to be more of just a dictation style activity. So as I said, someone just give me a gong when it's time to when I've only got a couple of minutes left, if you wouldn't mind, Paul. Okay. So first one, LingoLab CEO for self-study with automated review and progress tracking. And this has a similar method of progress tracking as the Kanji Lab one. Okay. And LingoLab Live for a real-time multiplayer quiz game, and LingoLab Online, where teachers can set one-off quizzes, make custom sets, and monitor LingoLab CEO progress. Okay, so let's just quickly look at the LingoLab CEO itself. So this is an example of this is the actual site here. So we have that tracking system that I mentioned. We have a few settings, so you can change those different things with the prompts and the answer types. This one is like an English to English one. This is just with single words, actually.
This is how you feel when you get a nice present.
This is how you feel when you get a nice present. Did you catch that? So this is just a single word answer. Let's just say happy. Okay. What's another one?
This is an adjective which describes feeling happy, relieved or appreciated.
Relieved or appreciated. Okay, maybe glad. Have a guess. Do one more.
This is a kind of building where people live.
Okay, if you don't know the answer, you just click on any one and it's going to show you the next word in the answer. But you might notice that if you do that, if you get it wrong, that's going to go lower down in the progress tracking. And you are going to have to answer that question at least one more time. Okay, so that's one mode. That was just with single word answers, but most often I use this with sentences because I think that's probably the more unique benefit that's not provided by other types of practice sites. Okay, so LingoLab CO for students to practice with. That can be tracked by teachers. Teachers can see the progress of their students. LingoLab Live is similar to Quizlet Live in that you have all the students joining the game and they have this kind of live updated leaderboard. You don't need to make accounts. The teacher doesn't need to make an account. The students don't need to make an account. If you just go to LingoLab Live, you can set up a game anytime and just play it in the classroom or online. And then the third one, which is mainly for the teacher, is LingoLab Online. Let's see. So this is on the help site here. So as I mentioned, you can monitor the student's progress, you can make custom sets, you can create quizzes. Yeah. I might be out of time. What do you think, Paul?
About 2 minutes, yeah. If there are any questions, I guess we could take questions in the chat. If anyone has a question, please feel free to type it in the chat.
Okay, just with the functions for this LingoLab Online, we can see firstly there's the progress tracker. So to join, to connect, for the students to connect their LingoLab CO account, they just go into their profile, put the teacher's registered email address, they can put a class and their name so that it's easy for you to find them and filter their results by class. The second function is creating custom sets. This is really as simple as just copy and pasting spreadsheet data into another online spreadsheet within the LingoLab Online site. Very quick and simple. And those custom sets can be used in LingoLab, or they can also be used in the Lingo Bingo game as well. And the third function is creating quizzes. Okay, so if you want a kind of one-off quiz where the teacher sees the actual score, you would use a LingoLab quiz. Okay. And this is really handy in that you can see sort of like Socrative. I don't know if you're familiar with Socrative, but you can see the students' progress while they're actually going through and answering the question. So you know at what, which question they're up to and how they're doing. So that's really handy. And one thing I realized also recently was that with the cues, this is actually rendered as a picture. The text is rendered as a picture. So that means that students can't like do a hover translation like they can in almost any other kind of format. If you have students doing a Google form quiz, they can just hover over any language and get any text in the Google form and get a translation. So that's one other benefit of using this for language quizzes.
Okay.
I'll probably leave it there. So yeah, the help site is in the chat. Feel free to check them all out. They are all free. So enjoy.